Now the lead has exploded out to 17 and looks like being extended as Smith is fouled from behind by Scotty McGregor. Just feeling his shoulder there for the moment as well. And an intentional foul is called on Scott McGregor. I don't know whether I agree with that, Steve.
How is that no play for the ball? He was like 2 inches from the ball. I don't understand this rule at all, and I hope Gary Fox rings me on this one, because how is that?
Slapped him on the arm.
Slapped him on the arm. It was like
nothing else.
Probably the hand. And then last night we're watching that game, and one of the Tigers puts a bear hug on the Canberra Cannons, and that's not an intentional foul. I just want to know the ruling on it, because that is not even being close to being called consistently. Yeah, so that's got to be a problem.
I'm sure Gary Fox will have discussions during the week about that. I agree, Steve. The lead is out to 19 at the moment. Is this getting away from the Kings? Well, they were 21 down at one stage last evening against North Melbourne and came home to win it. Donaldson did well there to retrieve his earlier mistake, and the Magic have turned the ball over only 3 times in the match, compared with 14 from Sydney. McKinnon fires for 3. 2 pieces of the iron. Smith keeps it alive. He goes back to the well, and this time he draws a foul on Matty Nielsen.
Well, watch the replay. Jason Smith knows he's going to just step in there for a... And if there's an intentional foul called, why not that one?
Well, why not indeed, Steve?
Professor.
Always look on the bright side of life. Some things in life are bad, they can really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle. This'll help things turn out for the best. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the right side.
Okay. Mark, the Melbourne Tigers on a 5-game losing streak at the moment. When do you start getting a little bit worried about making the playoffs or not making the playoffs?
About now. We're a team of streaks. We win a lot and we lose a lot in a row, and at the moment we're in that 5-game losing streak, but it really comes down to this weekend's games. We play Townsville at home and then Adelaide away, but the Friday night's very important for us, and if we can get that first win back on track, I think that'll definitely help us.
What has been the problem? Last year you were streaking and all the way to the playoffs and the championship, and you've had your moments this year, but the last month or so it just doesn't appear to be happening. The rumours are that you're injured, that Marcus Timmins is injured as well. Can you tell us perhaps physically how you're feeling at the moment?
I think everybody probably is a little fatigued, a little tired. We had 4 games in 8 days a couple of weeks ago, which sort of knocked us around a bit, and when you had one of those games, which can really make the slide start happening there. So a few injuries there, but as far as knowing what's going right or wrong, if we knew what was wrong, we could rectify it and we wouldn't lose. So we're trying to work on it. This week's been very good at practice. It's been very physical, very demanding. Lindsay's really pushed us, but I think we're showing good signs, but that's only practice, so it really counts in the game time.
And can you tell us about your injury problems? Because you've had a virus this year, your weight's just down a little bit, you had a groin twinge at some stage as well.
Yeah, there's been a few things going wrong with me this year. It's the first time I've really missed games for a long, long time, and very frustrating when to sit on the sideline with injuries or sickness, and even sitting up from practice. So it's unfortunate, but you don't want to make excuses, and hopefully we can get the body right by the time the playoffs come when we're in there.
Marcus Timmins statistically is having a great season, taking a lot of shots. Is he taking some of the shots that perhaps you were taking last year? You look at your statistics, they're down dramatically from last year.
I don't know why, but I've dropped a bit there. Maybe our structure's changed a little bit. We have Marcus has been playing very, very well, and he's been shooting an excellent position from the 3-point line. So we have 3 good shooters from outside now, and those guys can light it up. And but maybe I have to work a bit harder and try and get my stats up, I suppose. But the big thing is trying to get the wins, and at the moment we'll do anything to try and get a win.
Are you conscious of your statistics at all? Do you take much notice of them?
Normally I do, but this year I haven't, and they've gone down, so maybe that's the problem. But yeah, it's frustrating. You know, I get frustrated out there because I know I can do more and have done more, but I'm just not performing on the court as well as I would like, and it is annoying, but I'd like to try and rectify it. But yeah, sometimes you don't know what's going right or wrong.
Would that have something to do also with the amount of improvement we've seen in players like Ben Melmoth and Ben Pepper, who are doing extremely well?
Yeah, well, I think the league, the positive thing about the league at the moment, it's the talent's better than ever. I really believe so. We have the Australian content, I believe, is maybe caught up to the American content a little bit. The Australians have a lot more impact on the game, and that's great for the league, and it makes every player want to play harder and improve on themselves.
Melbourne Tigers have never been renowned for being a defensive team, but over the last 4 weeks or so, you're giving up more than 112 points per game. So not being a good defensive team before this year, it's even dropped off a little more. Has anyone mentioned that at training, Lindsay, or are the players aware of the fact that maybe you need to tighten up a little bit on D?
No, that's the first time that I've heard that we've been giving up 112. That's not good enough. That's not going to win us games, and obviously it hasn't. It's not that we don't try to play defence. Sometimes we do have breakdowns, but everyone...
Well, really, I mean, what you look for on that, especially when somebody goes down, you just hope nobody low-bridged him.
Players say something, say something and they don't mean it.
Trying to avoid the contact. And just, when you're up in the air, you're so vulnerable. And Timmins gets
his first three-point success this year. And in his career, he has made only 5 in almost 300 games. But the prayer on the buzzer from Mark Bradkey. He banks it, he nails it, and maybe that will lift the Melbourne Tigers. They still trail by 14 at the final break. Townsville 84, the Tigers 70 here on Fox.
Boy, they really needed it.